Here we go. Arsenal have made a deadline day signing confirmed here by Fabrizio Romano. Tomiyasu to Arsenal, agreement reached. Here we go. Personal terms agreed. 20 million euros plus 3 million pounds of add-ons. That is a done deal. That is dusted. It is over the line. This was, of course, a big target this summer of Tottenham Hotspur. Emerson Royale was a big target of Arsenal. He's ended up going to Tottenham. Tomiyasu was a big target of Spurs. They really felt this summer they were close at times to getting this deal done, dusted, and over the line. But he has ended up being an Arsenal player. That is confirmed. That is done. That is over the line. That is 110% finished as it stands right now. Of course, courtesy the update there from Fabrizio Romano, reported by other journalists earlier on today. Leaf said they have signed our third choice here, but they've definitely signed a big player that was on Tottenham's list as far as that is concerned. We've got other news to jump into. Jules Kounde and Saul Niguez updates upon the way. Cavani may be going to Barcelona. Contradictory reports coming across social media. Fabrizio says he's saying. Multiple reports coming out of Spain saying advanced talks are on the way. We're going to allow you to phone in and have your say this morning on the Football Terrace, the only channel that allows you to give your opinions on these breaking stories. But Arsenal fans, you have signed Tomiyasu, 20 million euros, agreement reached. Another defender can play centre-back and right-back. What are you thinking and what are you feeling about this? Smash that like button. Let's do this. Morning, welcome back to the terrace, everybody. What a morning of twists and turns we have seen already. What we have seen already is absolutely out of this world. So many rumors fluctuating. We're here for the next little while to bring it all to you, but of course to give you the chance to have your say this morning. But the big breaking news: Arsenal have signed Takehiro Tomiyasu from Bologna for 20 million euros plus 3 million euros of add-ons. They have put their money where their mouth is, Arsenal fans. They have signed a very, very, very talented player. And this is what people were asking for. This is what people were demanding. Everybody was demanding that Arsenal Football Club go and spend some money, go and get some deals done, get some things over the line. They have gone, they have done that, they have delivered. No doubt about it whatsoever. Serge Aurier, also update here, could be on his way out of Tottenham. We'll give an update on that a little bit later. Jules Kounde news to come as well. Now, interestingly, we have an update here that says Fabrizio has said that Cavani to Barcelona will 100% not happen. And that's what he's been told. Absolutely. There are other reports out there that Man United are in advanced talks to allow him to leave. There are a number of different journalists out there that are giving a different update in relation to this. This is a deal that I am completely open-minded about. As I said about Saul Niguez and Jules Kounde this morning, since this morning, it's on, it's off, has happened 3 or 4 times with Niguez and Jules Kounde. The same can be said here. We have this is one of the original updates that went out earlier on today around 10:30 that Barca are in advanced talks with Edison Cavani and are working with Man United. It is not a simple operation. There is still a lot of work to do. What we do know, as per the United report have shared this, that Fabrizio has come out and said that it's not happening. There almost isn't any way, any shape, or any form that this could be pushing forward. But there is some big breaking news here from Jacob Steinbeck in relation to Saul Niguez to Chelsea, ladies and gentlemen. Chelsea fans, shared here, it says Jules to Saul Niguez to Chelsea is over, according to Jacob Sternberg. Says that it is over. Says that it is not progressing forward anymore. That is the latest update on Saul Niguez off. Saul Niguez off is what is being reported here right now in relation to this news. Not what anybody at Chelsea Football Club wanted to see today. They wanted the here we go. They wanted this over the line. But the update is that the deal is off. As of right now, they are saying the deal is off. I want to know what you're thinking and you're feeling. I'm sharing the link now for you to phone in and have your say. I want to hear from you this morning. Get your questions into us as well. Get those super chats in. Keep supporting the Football Terrace in the brilliant way that you do every single day, people. We have a poll running as well, so I'd love your votes to be in that also. 44% of you do not think Cavani is going because Fabrizio has said so in relation to that deal there. We'll keep the updates coming throughout the course of this show, people. The link to call in with has been shared in the live comment section. I want to hear from you. Come with something to say, though, people. A few people have phoned up in the last few days and have just said, I'm here to say hello. She's lovely, but we're talking transfers, what your team's up to, what your team isn't going to do. Gooners, we need to hear from Gooners. We need to hear from Arsenal fans today. We have to hear from you right now. How you thinking? How you feeling? You've just signed Tomiyasu. What's going on here? Oh, interesting update. Fabrizio Romano now confirming the same news we've just seen. Sal deal since yesterday night is completely blocked. No green light from Atletico. Chelsea are convinced it's going to definitely collapse. Nothing agreed for Jules Kounde yet too. Both these deals appear right now to be slipping through Chelsea's fingers. The Jules Kounde one especially. Agreement in place with Sevilla for many, many weeks. Agreement in place with the player. Signed, sealed, delivered on personal terms for many, many weeks. The goalpost moved at the 11th hour. The situation with Atletico Madrid has been as it's always been. They do not want to issue an obligation to buy. They do not want to issue an obligation to buy. That is the major stumbling block in relation to that. But as it stands right now, the Saul Niguez deal is off, is done, is finished. As it stands, according to Jacob Steinberg and Fabrizio Romano. Of course, it's probably come from the same report. They work together very, very closely indeed. But that deal is now reported to be off. Ladies and gentlemen, give us a call. Come on the show now. Have your say, but smash that like button, please. Share this stream across social media. We're here aggregating the news as it comes out, but we give you the chance to actually phone up, to actually have your say, to actually express an opinion, to actually be heard. That's the point of fan channels. That is what we're here for. Hit that like and share button, people. Let's go to our first caller of the day. First up on the show, we're going to get Leaf on. Leaf is, of course, a Tottenham fan. He's seen his club just about to land Emerson Royale, but they are going to lose out on Tomiyasu, a player heavily, is how you pronounce it?
Takehiro Tomiyasu.
Takehiro Tomiyasu is going to Arsenal, not Tottenham. Leaf is here with me to have his say. Let's do this. Leaf, give me your thoughts and feelings on this news that Arsenal are about to take one of your players away.
Well, I mean, so basically, you know how Fabio Paratici works. He has so many links with so many players, and then he chooses who's available and who goes. Romano said it, and Gold said it. Tomiyasu was our target for a center back and for like a defensive right back if Romero didn't happen. That's commonly known. And Romero did happen, so then he was still a target as right back. But then the door for Emerson opened. So then we got Emerson, and Arsenal also wanted Emerson. So at the end of the day, they got our third choice, second choice right back. He doesn't even fit them. Tomiyasu fits us so well because he's very defensive and he's very physical. He doesn't fit Arteta, and they need an attacker. They need an attacking right back. And at the end of the day, Emerson is probably 4 times better than Tomiyasu attacking wise. So I'm happy. It's good for them. It's a good deal. Like, he's still obviously an improvement
Yeah,
in
I
Bellerin.
hear that. And in terms of yourselves, Emerson Royale is in very, very good prospects. It looks like Ndombele is going to stay. The Traore deal could still happen today. What's your thoughts and feelings on that?
So Emerson, I'm over the moon. I've been wanting him for 2 years now. Ever since he was at Betis in 2018, I wanted him. He's an incredible right back. Seriously, one of the best in La Liga. Like 14 goal involvements in 2 seasons. He's incredible. I'm really happy that we got him. For Traore, it looks very unlikely. It looks like it's 40 million, 50 million pounds, and I think for a player who has 2 years left, I think it's not gonna happen. But I don't know. Maybe we might go for a midfielder because, like Arsenal fans being told that they will only buy when they sell. We sold a midfielder, and like every journalist said, we will only buy a midfielder when we sell one. We sold Sissoko, so I think we should expect a midfielder, hopefully.
I
But
do
I'm
hear you.
really happy. I've seen so many Spurs fans being really mad and saying it's a 5 out of 10 window. It's not. It's a 7 or an 8 window. I'm really happy with the window.
I think it's an impeccable window for Tottenham Hotspur. I believe it's an impeccable window. I think it's a brilliant window. I think there are so many positives to take out of this. There really, really is. There's just so many positives to take out of this. Listen, Lee, thanks for coming on and having your say, mate. Really appreciate that massively.
Yeah,
Top
thank
man.
you.
Thank you. Updates for everybody. We're going to do some more calls. Cavani to leave Manchester United. There are some contradictory reports out there. Big claims coming from the continent that there was advanced talks between Cavani and Barcelona. Samuel Luckhurst saying that it wouldn't be a surprise to him. The player hasn't really settled in England, isn't happy with being blocked from playing for his country, as an example. Fabrizio has said, though, that Cavani is part of Man United's plans and there is no chance that this deal happens. But we know that isn't the end of things. We know that the world can change with the snapping of fingers. Also been reported today, that Saul Niguez to Chelsea is over, according to Fabrizio Romano. Jacob Steinberg has said the exact same thing as well, both claiming that deal is finished. That deal is dead as of right now. But again, Chelsea come in and change their minds. That could change overnight. What do you think is going to happen, though? This is what's more important. Fabrizio, the man. Jacob Steinberg, amazing. All these individuals know their football. They know what they're talking about. They understand the game. There's no doubt about it. But what do you think? That is what I'm most intrigued about. What do you think? We're going to do some more of your calls in a moment. Let's get this stream past 1,000 likes, ladies and gentlemen. All smash it. It's transfer deadline day. Let's have a bit of a Mardi Gras. Let's have a little bit of a party. Let's just enjoy it, for God's sakes. It's the thrill of the chase. Next on the show, we're going to go to, I'm going to try and pronounce his name right. Quasim. It might be right. He's nodding. It's pretty much there. Welcome to the terrace, my friend. Chelsea fan in the house. What you saying?
Hi, Terry. I just want to say I've been watching your show for quite a long. I absolutely love your show, mate. That's point number one. Point number two, yeah, I think Chelsea gonna do Kounde, mate, and he can play six and he can play in the back. That's my opinion. I think Negas is done. I think they're gonna do one transfer, one more is Kounde, and he can can bottom in the six. And I wanted to ask you regards Cristiano Ronaldo. Man United. I think he's going to great side. He's going to score a lot of goals. I think Man United have a very good squad. I'm not sure about the manager. I think they got a very talented squad of Sancho, Pogba, Bruno, and obviously Cristiano Ronaldo now. But I am not sure. I'm not going to lie to you, Terry, about the manager because I don't think he can get the best of them. They all also were talented, and they should be there and thereabout with Chelsea and Man City. I'm not sure about Liverpool because soon that we heard Firmino is injured with hamstring. He's going to be off for 4 to 5 weeks, and they're not signing. They're not that great with the signing thing. So I think it's between Chelsea, Man City, and Man United. But I bought Man United there if they got the right manager. That's my opinion. I'm not insulting anything. And thanks for having me, Terry. I appreciate that.
Not a problem at all. Top man, thanks for calling in and having your say. Great call, my brother. Thank you much indeed. Listen here, this is why it's important to read the full reports. And while I'm doing my shows live, I'm trying to ascertain information. So, breaking news, Chelsea's hopes of signing Saul Niguez on loan are over, is what Jacob Steinberg said. But listen to what the second part of what he said was. Let's have a little listen to the second part, or look at what he said. There could be a late turnaround, but the deal is off as of now, or as it stands. That's what's really important. Now down to the Jules Kounde deal. Late turnaround. I'm not saying the deal will happen, but it could still. As it stands right now, there's no movement, but keep your eyes out, ladies and gentlemen. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows what happens in this topsy-turvy window? Next caller on the show, we're going to get Arsenal TV on, Gunners TV on to have his say. Of course, Arsenal just picked up the signing of takehiro Tomiyasu. 20 million euros more spent. That takes it. Dean Machine was right. The summer spending for Arsenal over 150 million pounds. Welcome back to the terrace, my friend. Give me your thoughts.
Hello, mate. How's it going, Terry?
Very, very well. Give me your thoughts on this new signing you've just made at Arsenal.
Well, I think we needed them. You know, we're a shambles in defence. You know, we got a few injuries. Gabriel White's out with COVID. We lost 5 at City. Lukaku bullied us. And is he a centre back or a right back?
He can play in both. Play both positions.
So that's perfect for us. That's perfect. Because we needed a new right back. They say he's not too attacking, but he's really physical. And we need a bit of toughness at the back. So I think it's a great signing for Arsenal.
I think it's very talented. I mean, what I've seen of him and heard about him, you know, very, very impressed with what I've seen, what I've read. Spurs were looking at him as an example.
Yeah.
So I don't see why Arsenal fans should suddenly be. There's a few Arsenal fans that seem downbeat about it and frustrated about it, but I personally wouldn't be. I think he's a very, very.
No, I'm happy with it. I just think, you know, who else is out there? You know, Max Aarons. We were looking at him. That was a story. It just kept going on and on and on and on. It just seemed never happened. A bit like the Buendia deal, you know, with Norwich and that, and just paper talk, really. But I'm glad Arteta's got us over the line. But the one I'm really pissed off about is the way they treated William Saliba. Man, apparently he's playing brilliant in France at the moment. We could do with him at centre back right now. I think Arteta is falling out with these players, like he's done with the lad that was going to go to Everton. Now he's not allowed to play for Arsenal. What is going on? I mean, Arteta, for me, has got 3 or 4 games left, and then he's gone. You're going to have to sack him, mate. We're bottom of the league, man. It's depressing times. It really is, man. I can't remember a time where it's been so bad.
I do hear you on that. I listen. I completely and utterly hear what you're saying in relation to the way Arsenal are operating and how they're moving and everything else. It's going to be an intriguing one, but there is an update on the Tomiyasu deal that I think needs to be shared and needs to be spoken about as it stands. Thank you very much for coming on and having your say, buddy. Really appreciate that. Has Fabrizio Romano gone a little bit early? Has Fabrizio Romano gone a little bit early with this Arsenal news? David Ornstein here has said that Arsenal ceiling Tomiyasu depends on Bellerin and Maitland-Niles situations. Everton loan bid for Ainsley Maitland-Niles not currently acceptable to Arsenal. Bellerin loan move to Real Betis more likely at present. Medical would be in London if agreement is struck. Now, it doesn't say both, but it seems like one of those situations. So it looks like Arsenal have this completely and utterly in play, but they are reliant on those other deals going through, according to David Ornstein. And that is why on the Football Terrace, we listen to multiple sources. It's important to listen to multiple sources and what they say in relation to these situations. But that there is big, big breaking news from David Ornstein. The here we go has already gone out from Fabrizio Romano. It looks like it's going to go through. I would still be, as an Arsenal fan, confident. But listen, I mean, everyone's saying it's already happened. It's already gone, and he might already be gone. But that's not. So we're now going to disregard. Yesterday, I was told we should always listen to Ornstein when it comes to English clubs, and now everyone in the comments saying, "No, it's already done. Don't worry about it." I love this game. For me, I think it's going to go through by the way things sound. But that's the update there from Mr. Ornstein. There's also an update here from Mr. Kinsella in relation to Chelsea's situation that I want to take another quick look at. He says, as per Jacob Steinberg, deal currently off for Saul Niguez. Chelsea never responded to Atletico after they sent out their terms. Jules Kounde was a bigger priority for Chelsea, so let's see there. Expect news shortly on him. News coming very, very soon on Jules Kounde. Make sure that like button has been hit and smashed. We're going to be getting onto the show next. We're going to be getting Inglorious Guna. We're going to get another Arsenal fan on to have his say. Welcome back to the Terrace. What's on your mind, buddy?
So obviously with that update we just given, we don't know if the Tomiyasu deal will definitely go through, but if it goes through, the most important thing, obviously I've heard of him before because of the Tottenham links previously in the window, and he's quite young, only 22. He's played quite regularly in Serie A now for the last 2 seasons. So he's definitely a good player that's been looked at by a lot of top clubs. But the main thing for me is that he actually improves the right back position, because he had a spell. I've just done a bit of quick research that he played at centre back, but he wasn't having the best performances at centre back. And actually, as a right back, it's said to be his best position. And I've looked at some of the stats comparing him to Ainsley Maitland-Niles, who a lot of Arsenal fans seem to be quite distraught about his situation. But Tomiyasu is a much more balanced right back than Maitland-Niles. He's strong. He's very tall. Defensively, he's far superior to Maitland-Niles. I've just looked at his tackle success rate as well. He scored 3 goals from the right back position. It's quite impressive, to be honest. There's not many fullbacks who obviously score that many goals usually. And attacking wise, nearly 1 shot creating action per game, 0.5 expected assists per game as well. So he's quite a balanced fullback and a massive upgrade on what we have in the right back position. That's the main thing for me. I think this actually could probably be arguably the best signing that Arsenal have made this summer, because it's a clear upgrade on what was previously there. With the other positions, you could say, was it really an upgrade or what was already there? But with this one, it definitely is. So for me, if it goes through, it would be a successful signing.
Yeah, listen, I think it could be a very, very, very good. He could be a very good player for you indeed. I think there is a lot of talent in there. There's a lot of options in there. There's a lot of quality. A lot of the signings that have been put out there and made by Arsenal this summer are future based. There is a lot of potential at bay. It's just whether or not you've got the structure at the club and the manager in place that's going to be able to unearth that.
Yeah, and just on that, Terry.
Yeah.
So obviously Arteta leaving the club, it's a very it's on the cards right now with majority of the Arsenal fan base. But what I would say is, if Arteta were to be sacked, I do feel one of the things that he has done well is that I believe the squad that he inherited from Emery, I believe it's in a better place now for a new manager to come in. I look at the average age of the squad. I believe it's the youngest squad in the Premier League on average ages. I look at some of the positions that have been improved. For example, Thomas Partey, Gabriel, Ben White, and now the right back, Odegaard, are all improvements on what was previously there. So I would say that's one of the things that has, you could say, one of the only shining lights of the tenure, along with the FA Cup.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that completely, my friend. I hear you on that completely. I get where you're coming from. I think it's interesting, to say the least, what's going to happen with this. Top man, and thank you very much for coming on and having your say. Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. Some interesting news here to bring you about the Cavani situation. Jonathan Strager has spoken on this. He has said, I'm told as of right now, I love that case there. That always has to be put in here. Barcelona have not been in contact with Cavani, nor have United spoken with Edison about Barca's reported interest. He doesn't want to leave. That is as it stands right now in relation to that news about Edison Cavani. A number of publications now shutting down that transfer. But what is very, very, very intriguing is what has just come out of Fabrizio Romano's mouth. Just come out of his mouth in the last few moments. Okay, which I think is very, very intriguing. So I want to put this up here. So this was something that was tweeted about yesterday. Jules Kounde desperately wants to join. Blah 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 blah. We all know about this already from Sky. This is a response just come out of Fabrizio's mouth. Great guy here, CFC. I don't actually pronounce PYS. How you pronounce that? I don't know how you pronounce it, but it says Chelsea never agreed on a 50 million deal for Jules Kounde. Fabrizio Romano has reportedly said that there has never been any kind of agreement. And this is what's very, very interesting when it comes to these conversations. Who you listen to, who you believe, PR plays a part, who's then feeding this information. Because as per this reply, Ornstein said there was a verbal agreement and whatever he says is the truth. And this is where fans will pull on things. So I am going to predict now that Chelsea fans will push the narrative, if this deal falls through, that there was never, ever, ever any agreement in place. That sounds better. It can't fall through our fingers if we never agreed to a fee. But there was a verbal agreement in. I actually think it sounds better that you had the agreement. Sevilla tried to drive the price up and you stood your ground. That for me is the better narrative. But it's going to be interesting to see what people believe now. Ornstein has said, and that very much matches with the information that we received on the Football Terrace weeks ago, that an agreement, and you know what I'm like, I don't give a shit about this verbal agreement nonsense. It's an agreement. That there was an agreement in place between Sevilla and Chelsea. That's now being downplayed. That's now being spoken about as not being the truth. I do trust Ornstein, but I also trust Fabrizio Romano. I believe they're getting information from different sources. Depends what you want to believe in relation to this. The talk for weeks. What I would say is this. The speak about an agreement in principle, in verbal agreement, whatever it is, has been around for weeks. Why would it take until 10 hours before the window shuts for the greatest transfer guru in the world to tell us there's no verbal agreement? Maybe that would have come. Maybe he's only just been updated and briefed on that. Why is it coming out today? Let's see what the narrative is later on down the line. But for me, I believe what Ornstein has said, mainly because that's the information that I was fed weeks and weeks ago, that Chelsea had this agreement, that Sevilla, the player, and Chelsea were all relaxed about the situation. They were waiting to complete the sale of a number of players, namely Kurt Zouma. That got done. The deal was expected to accelerate very, very quickly. Just go back and read the reports. And then Sevilla threw a spanner into the works by driving up that price. The only reason it hasn't been gone through is because Chelsea are refusing to suddenly have the price increase by £15 million that they'd previously agreed. That's all this comes down to. I think you can read into hundreds of different scenarios. Maybe this didn't happen, that didn't happen. Look at the consensus reports. The consensus of the reports for a period of time. They're only starting to change now. You see, like the Saul Niguez thing, for weeks, it was days. It was obligation to buy is the problem. Now it's like, oh, actually, Ati need a replacement player. Do they? Where'd that suddenly come from? Where was that from the tier ones all those weeks ago? They knew everything, right? No. For me, this is all about Sevilla taking the proverbial and Chelsea standing their ground, being that impeccably run club that they are. Terry, is Loki shooting at Fab? Absolutely not. And if that's your, listen, brother, that's you. Come on. You ain't got that weakness as well, have you, my friend? Where you try and create problems. Fabrizio Romano will tell us what he's being told. Ornstein will tell us what he's being told. My belief is that there was an agreement in place. Why? Because the consensus of reports, the majority of reports in the last 8 weeks have told us that. To have that come out now at this point and not be shut down at the time tells me it's a change of narrative, not from Fabrizio Romano, but from one of his sources. But Fabrizio's job isn't to tell us, it is to give us opinions, but it's mainly to tell us also what he's being told. And I bet if you go and listen to what he said, what he would have actually have said rather than reading it is, what I've been told today is this. So that's what's very, very important to remember here. Remember, Inter Milan told him that it was impossible to buy Lukaku. Barcelona told him they were definitely getting Wijnaldum. Barcelona and Messi told him he was definitely re-signing. It's not Fabrizio's fault if it's wrong, but that's why you listen to other reporters as well. Very, very important to do that. No issues there. Not trying to create problems with anybody. We don't. Anyone makes comments like that, they get blocked because we're not about the online BS. We're not about that here. Last week, Atletico didn't need a Saul Niguez replacement, but now they do. Sounds like the CFC board are feeding the media rubbish to save face. Crap window is what D1 says. Breaking news, Liverpool still haven't signed anybody. Yes, you have, as I predicted yesterday. You've announced the new deal. You've announced the new deal for Jordan Henderson. That was always going to happen today. That was a dot on the cards to happen today. Of course it was. It was always going to happen. No doubt about it. Let's have a go. Let's keep this. Someone's directing me towards an interesting Twitter account. Let me go and see what's being said over here. If there's actually any tweets or updates, we just go and see. Hang on, what are we saying? Interesting update here from Laurie Whitwell. We'll put this up on the screen. He says that Man United were offered Saul Niguez at the start of the window, but talks never really got going in earnest. Suffice to say, Saul will not be moving to Old Trafford. Doesn't sound like a midfielder is incoming. Has been unlikely due to other signings, is what Laurie Whitwell believes. And look, these things happen as well. So I know a lot of Man United fans wanted a midfielder, but our plan was to always try and bring Cristiano back. We had to act because he was going to go Man City. And maybe that scuppered the chance of bringing in a midfielder. Only the performances and trophies we win this season will dictate as to whether or not that was the right decision or not. But let's wait and see what transpires and what happens. Liverpool have corner shop owners, is what Tahir believes. Okay. Laurie Whitwell's report. Yeah, we just put that up on the screen, my friend, and took a little look at that. It's going to be interesting to see how this all transpires and moves forward. Next on the show, Donny James is with us to have his say. Let's make sure that like button has been smashed, people. Let's get this stream past that 500 like mark. Donny James is here. Let's go. Donny James in the house. What you saying, my brother?
Will Grigg is on fire. I'm buzzing, mate. Yeah, mad day. First of all, just a quick mention. If you've got any space in your panels for deadline day tonight, I'd be more than willing to offer my services since I'm now officially off work with ill health, but this news is making me feel a lot better. I think that the defender for Arsenal, Tomiyasu, I think that that's a very interesting signing. I think that it depends if Bellerin goes or Maitland-Niles goes. I think Bellerin to Real Betis a very interesting deal. I think that that's a very interesting one, but I think Tomiyasu would be a good signing for Arsenal. It's not the world-class standout signing that we want from Arsenal to show some ambition, but I think, under 23, got loads of potential. I think it's a good signing to keep building up with the likes of Lokonga, Tavares, Ben White, etc., Ramsdale. So I think it's falling under that bracket again. With Cavani, I had a feeling he was never going to leave. Even if Ronaldo came. I mean, Ronaldo and Cavani in the front three with Sancho. I mean, come on. Rashford's not going to be back. You're going to have Greenwood now playing back, well, not back up, but sort of competing with a front three. The strongest front three, for my opinion, for United is Ronaldo one side, Sancho the other side, Cavani in the middle. Oh, my dear God. That is a dangerous front three. On Saul, I think, again, it should be interesting to see where that situation lies. Jules Kounde, in my opinion, I think will end up going to Chelsea. I think there's no surprise U-turn with that. And before I go, Terry, potentially, if you've got any spots open for your deadline day panel this evening, I'd love to get involved if possible. But before I go, you're going to need those breaking news graphics because it wouldn't be deadline day without a Donny update. So, of course, Donny updates. Will Grigg looks set to be coming into Doncaster Rovers, as well as a Premier League prospect, a highly rated Premier League prospect on a season-long loan. We've had mixed source on the Will Grigg deal. Will Grigg's on fire. We've heard sources say a 1-year loan. We've heard sources say a 3-year deal. We've heard sources say a year loan with a 3-year optional deal on a permanent if we get him. We've also heard reports that Sunderland will pay part of his wage. We're going to pay $2,500 of his wage. In terms of alternatives, if the Will Grigg deal falls through, there's 4 names that have been mentioned by the Free Press. Hull City's Tom Eaves, Cardiff City's Kenneth Zahore, who was at West Brom last season, playing in the Premier League. These are on loan deals, by the way. Swansea City's former Wigan prospect, Carl Joseph, and the experienced Luton striker, Danny Hilton from the Championship. So potential alternatives there if the Will Grigg deal falls through. Potentially could be alternatives, potentially could be extra deals alongside Will Grigg. And also there's no news as to whether Omar Bogle or Ed Williams will leave the club or not. So it should be a mad deadline day, the maddest deadline day we've had in years. Big up yourself, big up the terrace. And like I said, if you've got any spots for the deadline day panel, I'd love to offer my services tonight.
Yeah, we'll be taking calls later on this evening, mate. So make sure you stay tuned and everything else. Top man, and get better soon, mate. Top man. Thank you much indeed. I always joke about the Donny updates. He does give them, and it's funny, really, because people used to laugh at it at the beginning. Now most people are like, okay, cool. But let's see what's being said here. There is an update to bring you in relation to Jules Kounde. We'll have that up on the screen for you in just a few moments' time. Bear with me a second here. I need to just make sure that we're respecting where this came from before I put this out. That's been done. That's done. Bear with me a second. There we go. That's shared. I'm going to get it up on the screen now. Big breaking news regarding Jules Kounde, ladies and gentlemen. So, Jules Kounde, there's an update here that's come from the sporting director of Sevilla. And what he has stated and what he has claimed is very, very clear and simple. The Jules Kounde has chances to leave the club if the club will pay the release clause. Chelsea made a bid last week, but we didn't like it. Jules Kounde release clause is around 75 to 80 million euros. Sevilla have no intention to negotiate. And this is what becomes intriguing. This is where I think the information has stemmed into Fabrizio this morning about no verbal agreement. Whatever their stance, and I don't know what their stance is, Sevilla are playing hardball publicly now with Chelsea Football Club. They are stating there was no agreement at any point. Play the release clause or walk away. It does feel to me, and this is because I do trust David Ornstein, I believe Sevilla are trying to get one over on Chelsea here. They've led Chelsea to believe what's kind of made this worse is that Zuma took so long to get out. If Zuma would have been sold as anticipated 5-6 weeks ago, this situation wouldn't have become as protruded and as public and as desperate as it is right now, because there's only 10 hours and 38 minutes remaining of the transfer window. But Sevilla played a blinder here. They've kept Chelsea thinking the whole time that everything's relaxed, everything's going through okay, that there are no problems. And at the 11th hour, they have come out and said, boom, give us the release clause or you're not getting him. And it's put Chelsea into this really difficult position. The manager wants the player. The manager expects the player. Chelsea don't want to be dragged over the coals. Chelsea don't want to lose face publicly. We know this. They don't want to lose. No club wants to appear. If Chelsea just pay if Chelsea pay the 75 million euros release clause now, they lose face publicly. And a lot of clubs don't want that. So it's going to be very, very intriguing to see how this works, how this comes out, and everything else around it. So it's interesting here. There's a comment here that says, so will you blame Marina if we don't sign him now after we made an agreement for him earlier on? Look, I think what's really interesting is, oh no, he's not talking to me. I don't feel like it's the reason that someone here, there's an interesting train here. So this is two Chelsea fans go. I want to show you this actually. I'm going to put this up on the screen because this is fan talk. We're a fan channel, right? So I want to show what fans are saying. And this is what's interesting. So somebody quote tweeted, you can see here, I'll put it up on the screen. So they quote tweeted Fabrizio, their friend, who I'm going to zoom in a bit closer so you can see. And this is what I love. So he quote tweeted his friend in, and his friend says, yeah, we know. This is from C1, whoever this guy follows me. I'm going to follow him back. I like following people back that follow me. I actually follow back most people if I realize that you follow me. I'll follow both of them. He says, yeah, we know. He says, so will you blame Marina if we don't sign him now after we had an agreement with him earlier on, as said by me? Again, he then says, Fab just tweeted that the owner said they didn't like our bid. Now, you've got to remember here, this is where it all becomes interesting for me as a content creator. They didn't like the bid, but I believe there was a verbal agreement in place. What Ornstein has said will now be forgotten because of course Sevilla don't want that to be the case, because Sevilla are going to deny that that was ever the case because they'll save face from it. Well, we never had an agreement in place. We've always said asking price. Chelsea didn't bid the asking price. How is it our fault? That will then therefore infuriate Chelsea fans who say, hang on a minute, we've chased him all summer. We knew we had to pay the asking price and we only ended up bidding £42 million, which is like 20 odd million pounds shy. That's a disgrace, Marina. It's a disgrace, Roman. Why waste our time? Both clubs want to win the PR battle. It depends what you believe. Chelsea, on the other hand, if the owner says, actually, we did have a verbal agreement and we changed our mind, Sevilla look like the bad guys. It's very clear what's going on here. Very, very clear indeed what's going on in relation to this. But fans be fans be fans. You know, what do you all think's going on? I would have gone for Camavinga instead of Ronaldo. Camavinga wasn't really an option for Man United. He never wanted us over Real Madrid. He never wanted us over even PSG. United never pursued it with any real gusto or earnest because they didn't think they'd be able to get the deal done. In those circumstances, what would have happened is what Man United did with City. If we'd have gone heavy for Camavinga, straight away what you would have seen is Real Madrid just put their bid in anyway, like they did. We would have just triggered them into doing it sooner rather than later. And then he would have picked them. So United held back. We did this in the Varane deal. We held back from making a lot of our bids official and talking official. And we played it down because what we were scared about is putting in the official bid and then another team coming in and gazumping us and us losing that battle publicly. As we've just been talking about with this Chelsea situation. Chelsea believe they had a verbal agreement in place. Sevilla is saying there isn't one. Depends whether you want to believe your own club or Sevilla. I suppose it depends whether you're angry at your club or not for the transfer window. I think there was a verbal agreement in place. And the reason I say that is Chelsea are not a stupid football club. There's no way Chelsea chase Kounde all summer, take it to the wire, and then put a bid in that's £20 million below the asking price, knowing it wouldn't be accepted. They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do it. Chelsea wouldn't do that. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me at all. Quick roundup for you in relation to the news today. Then Jess is going to be joining us again. Let's go through some of the breaking news this afternoon. Arsenal Football Club have got a £20 million deal in place to sign the very talented defender. Centre-back and right-back is his position. And I want to make sure I say his name right again now on this in Tomiyasu. Very talented player. Big transfer target this summer of Tottenham Hotspur, but they couldn't get that deal done. They were after at least two centre-backs. We know this, but they couldn't get the deal done. Arsenal have come in at the 11th hour and taken him away. Big reports that Edison Cavani could be on his way to Barcelona. These have been systematically broken down by a number of European and British journalists over the course of the past hour or so. It looks right now, as it stands, that Cavani will not be going to Barcelona and he will remain part of Manchester United's squad for the forthcoming season. The Saul Niguez deal is now being reported as being off again, as it stands. What Jacob Steinberg did say is it could change later on, but as it stands right now, it's over. And the Jules Kounde situation we've just discussed in greater detail. It's a simple case of Sevilla are no longer willing to sell him below the release clause price. Chelsea Football Club are still looking at the deal. It is the priority, but nobody quite knows yet exactly what is going to happen. I do want your thoughts. I do want your feelings on this. Make sure that like button has been smashed, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure it's been smashed. Make sure it's been shared. this stream across your social media platforms. Very, very important to us that you do that. But Jess is now with us to have her say this morning. Let's hear what she's got to say about Arsenal's new signing. Morning. Welcome back. Say morning. It's afternoon for us. I mean, it must be stupid early where you are.
Yeah, it's 4:30.
Look at the dedication there, ladies and gentlemen. What's your take on the signing of Takehiro Tomiyasu for 20? Look at that. That's pretty good pronunciation for me. And I know, right? What's your thoughts on this signing that you're about to make?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm an expert on him. I don't watch the league. You know, when Tottenham was originally linked with him and we were kind of like the tag-along club that was also interested, I looked at him, looked at the compilations, tried to look up some numbers and stuff, and I was like, okay, inverted right back makes a lot of sense. If we want to play in a back three as well, he can play that way. Makes a lot of sense based on what I kind of feel like Arteta wants to do, which Tierney bombs on and the right back stays back, plays like a midfielder or just like a right-sided center back. So I think that's fine from a profile perspective. I think it's in line with what we've done all season or all summer, 21 to 24 years old with a lot of upside. Perfect. You know, so in 20 million, my only, I guess, pushback on this would be 20 million plus Bellerin would have gotten you Emerson and you offered 10 plus Bellerin. So I guess maybe they didn't want Emerson enough to go above to get him. We know that 30 million at the very least had to go in for Emerson. And I think that's still a lot, but you know, maybe I would have preferred Emerson. Maybe I'll think differently once I see them both play, Emerson and Tomiyasu, right? But yeah. I think he's probably going to be a good player. I'm not sure. You have to see them play in the shirt, don't you? You know, you really, really do, and see if they can adapt. But profile is fine. We've signed the right back. I think it's still not good enough. We need a midfielder or something like that. But hey, what can you do? You know, this is also just really quickly too, like Arteta has gotten so many young players in this window. And the whole point of bringing in Mikel Arteta was because he was supposed to be super good with young players, wasn't he? He's supposed to be this dynamite coach, you know, responsible for Sané and Raheem Sterling. That was the marketing and the PR around it. So I would expect him to make these players better this season.
Well, and see what you can do with it. I mean, most of the signings that have come in are for the future. They're kind of potential. They're for the future. None of them are like finished articles as it stands right now. So let's see what he can do with it. The £150 million mark has now been surpassed. £155 million has now been spent on players. And that can't be shied away from a football club perspective. So the club has put, and I know it isn't Kroenke's money, it's the club's money, but they have put that money into players. Edu and the recruitment team, their necks are on the line here, because if these, whether it's under Arteta's stewardship or the next manager, and this is what's going to be really key, if Arteta don't turn this around and get sacked, what does the next manager get out of these players? Because we should not be living in a world now where players are being solely bought to fit the wants and desires of managers. It should be fitting the club's philosophy. So if the next manager comes in and within an 18-month period, and these things cannot be forgotten about, they must be put on ice and then reviewed later on down the line. If you sack him and your next manager that comes in is, for instance, say Conte, and he wants 90% of this squad sold, then you know the club's in a very, very bad situation because you're not operating with a club philosophy and a club ethos. That would be the scary element to me. And the problem is you're never going to get these answers in the short term. You can't. These are all, we've said it about Man United this year, where depending on where we finish in the league and and what they do with Ollie. So if we finish fourth, nowhere near the league title, and they don't sack him, we know that all these changes that they've spoken about are almost immaterial because there's no desire to actually become champions of England. They're just happy with that Champions League money, and that's kind of it. So we have to see what happens here with Arsenal. But look, I mean, I still think you've signed some good players. You haven't signed the marquee players, which I would be disappointed with as an Arsenal fan. I still think you could have, if you went for it, got Maddison. I still think you could have got Lautaro Martinez in if you went for it. I truly believe that. Truly believe it. But Tomiyasu, very, very good footballer. Ben White, huge potential. I think Lokonga's got the basis to be great. The fear factor I would have is that you didn't improve that attacking line in any way. Tammy Abraham should have been a player you landed. You should never have allowed him to end up at Roma. He should have been someone you got in through the door. Is he world class? No, but is he good enough to score the goals to push you further up the league? I think he would have been, but there we go. Hang on, there's a comment super chat I've got to do here before I miss it. It says United's rival fans say Chelsea and City are clear favourites to win the league, but in the same breath say United have no excuses not to win the league now. I don't understand the logic. Isn't there a middle ground? I need to ask you about that, Jess, actually. I need to ask you about that because you talk about this quite a lot with Man United. Do you believe we should be winning the league?
Mm-hmm. I just think you guys should be more confident and not, oh, we didn't get a midfielder. Like, come on. That's kind of how I feel about it. I just want you guys to be more confident because I just feel like there's a little bit of reluctancy, like to say that you can. Because I do think Man United can win the league. Chelsea can win the league, and so can City. It's like more of an open race. We'll actually see more like once we get down the line. It may not be as open as we think, but I would just like to see more Man United fans say, yeah, we're going to win it, or yeah, I believe in it, and not kind of go back to this like, well, we don't have the perfect midfield. You don't need the perfect everything, I don't think. I think the wind needs to be blowing in your direction. And you didn't even play good against Wolves and still won the game. That's you guys. That is you guys. So, and that's what you need in the league. So just say it with chest. That's all I'm saying.
I said it before. I will say we're favourites if you say we're the best team in the league, Jess.
Never gonna say that. See,
then I'm not gonna say it either. We had it last night. We had Sonny back on the show. Love Sonny. Did you hear what he said? Did you see it last night?
No, what did he say?
I think it was, I don't know if it's oxymoronic. I don't know if it's contradict. I don't know what the right kind of expression for it would be, but he said Man United should win the league. I said, why? He went, you're favourites to win the league. I said, oh, are we the best team in the league then? And he said, no. I said, then why are we favourites to win it? He said, well, you should be the best. Like, with your squad, they should be the best team in the league. Yeah. I said, okay, but should be isn't the same as we are. Why, what might we not be? And then he said, Ollie might not be able to get you to be the best team in the league. That's why nobody's saying we're favourites with chest yet. Like, nobody wants to admit we're the best team in the league, but they want to all put us up as the favourites. And it's very obvious why everybody's doing it. It's a very transparent setup. If we can get Man United fans to say they're favourites, when we all know they're not going to win the league because of Ollie and not quite being ready, we can go, ha, 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 you failed. Man United fans say we're going to push for the league title. We'll come close, but we're not going to quite get there. We'll achieve that expectation, and nobody wants us to achieve our expectation. So what they're trying to do, you've all done it too blatantly. You need to lay the seed a little bit weaker and tempt us into, rather than just saying you're the best team in the league. If you'd have all said, we now think you're the best, we think Ollie's good enough, you'd have suckered us all in. But no one wants to actually go the full hog, and you've got to do the long con here. And it's you all bottled it. You all bottled it. So you bottled it, and you're laughing because you know what I'm saying is 100%.
Because I'm not even. You know what? Fine. I'm not even gonna say what I was gonna say. I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not.
Fair enough. I'll give you a pass because it is 4:30 in the morning where you are, so still sleepy. Do you know what I mean? I hear you on that. Let's do some of these comments that are coming through here from some of the viewers today. I mean, are they actually, what are you all saying? United are finished as a club is what Marcus Trashford has got to say. Listen, that's music to my ears. United are 4 favourites. Let's see after they play a top team. I think that's true. I mean, we're going to do that on part of our show tonight, and we'll do that over the course of this week. We're going to do the proper Premier League predictions after the transfer window shuts, because it gives everybody more of a like, you know where you're at. Do you get what I mean? Like, Sonny was hilarious. He tried to twist his words. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I've had a lot of Liverpool fans say we should be winning the league, but none of them want to say we've got a better team than Liverpool. It doesn't make sense, does it? Do you know what I mean? It's like, I can run 100 meters in 9.5 seconds. You can run it in 10 seconds. Why would you ever be the favourites over me in the race?
Doesn't Ronaldo give you guys the edge though? Like, you don't think that his impact is going to be enough for you guys to win the league?
I think it should be. It should be, but we have that overarching factor of Ollie, and everyone knows my views on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, so I'll stand. I'll remain consistent with them. We don't know if he's a good enough manager to get us over the line when push comes to shove, and because of that, it's very, very difficult for us to put our faith. If our manager was Tuchel, Klopp, or Pep with this squad, I would say we're the favourites. If Fergie was still here, I would say we're favourites. But we just don't know with Ollie, and if we might fast forward 3 months and we're scoring goals, we're not conceding, we're beating teams with regularity. Our opinions will change. 21 is coming, we'll start to trend again. But as it stands right now, I still think we're behind Chelsea and I still think we're behind Man City. I think we should finish in front of Liverpool. We have a better overall pound for pound. We're stronger than Liverpool, in my opinion now, because Liverpool have signed no one. And even their new centre-back they've signed, if Matip stays fit, Kounde isn't even playing. He's literally there as backup right now. So they haven't improved their squad enough to challenge for the league. They'll come fourth. United, for me, are currently predicted to come third. City second. Chelsea first, in my opinion. Let's take a few more calls before the end of the show. Mo's going to come on. We're going to get JTT on. Arsenal fan Josh is with us as well. We want to know what you're all thinking and feeling in relation to Arsenal making the signing. It's not quite over the line yet, according to Mr. Ornstein, but it's like on transfers. It's funny. Yesterday, everyone on here was telling me Ornstein's the best journalist when it comes to English clubs. But because he's now not saying the deal is 100% over the line, it's no, Fab said it, so it's definitely happening. Football fans are the most fickle creatures on God's green and pleasant earth. They really are. Let's see what Josh has got to say as we bring him on to the show with us this morning. Welcome, Josh. What's on your mind, bro? New signing on the way. Tomiyasu coming in. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, man. First of all, thank God Bellerin is leaving. Oh my God, what a disgrace he has been ever since he's been here. Thank God he's finally out the door. Willian as well. Thank God he's leaving. That's two out the door. So our new right back we're gonna sign. Honestly, I don't know anything about him, but hopefully he can do very well. But yeah. And also,
go on. Go on, carry on.
Yeah, what's it? And also, we need a midfielder because our current midfield is kind of weak. To be fair, we've got literally Partey and that's literally it. Xhaka is awful. You've got Mohamed Elneny is awful. So we need either a world class midfielder or a Premier League proven. Me personally, I would go for Basuma. I think that will be enough probably to get top 6. But yeah, again, we'll see what happens. As for strikers, I want a bad man to leave the club. He is the worst captain in our history. He is just an embarrassment. And honestly, he has weak mentality, and he is just embarrassing for me personally.
I hear you on that, Josh. Top man, thanks for coming on and having your say, my friend. Thank you. Mo's now with us. Mo is a Man United fan. What are you saying, Mo?
Just with the Ruben Neves, if we get Ruben Neves, we'll be one of the favourites to win the league. With that in, we'll still be in contention, so we'll be there. We'll make up the top 3. It'll probably be City, Chelsea, United there. As for Arsenal buying all these signings, I don't really care. I don't even respect them. They could have Neymar, and I still wouldn't fear them. They won't do nothing this season.
Who?
Arsenal. They
Oh.
ain't gonna do anything. Yeah, they could spend 200 million. They ain't gonna do nothing. They'll still be top 10 or top 8. No Champions League football. They'll probably sack the manager, bring another one in, but they ain't gonna do nothing this season anyway. So it doesn't matter who they buy. They're gonna get rid of Bellerin, Aubameyang, whatever. No one really cares about Arsenal. Not even a top 4 team. They're top 10 team now, innit? Football should be only talking about top 4 teams, top 5 teams, not top 10. We should have a different platform for that. Football says point 2.
What you saying? What's your response to that, Jess? You're the gooner on here.
I mean, I just think it's rich. It's like, okay, well, because I'm not confident enough to say anything about our true rivals or who we're actually going up against in the top 4, I'm going to beat on poor little Arsenal. Why are you guys still talking about us? If you don't think we're good enough and you think we're crap, why keep beating down on us? It's like that weird thing that bullies do. You know, they just beat down on the small person, just keep going because they don't want to like actually see what's really going on. Like, focus on Man United, focus on Chelsea, hold on. Focus on Chelsea, focus on Liverpool, and that's fine. We're not great. But say it with chest. Are you going to win the league or no? None of this in contention.
Yes.
Okay, see you at the end of the season.
Okay. We're gonna win the league.
Mo,
You'll be fighting for top 10.
That's fine.
Simple as that. We're gonna win the league. Done.
Okay.
You heard it here first. Exclusive. Breaking news. United win the league.
There you
Chelsea ain't stopping us. City ain't stopping us.
there we go.
CR7 is back. Ronaldo is back. The goal is back.
Mo, top man. Thanks for coming on, having your say, mate. Cheers, bro. Thank
Bye.
you. JTT's here with us now. What are you here to say, buddy?
Oh, I think I really quite like the signing of this new defender. I think it's interesting. I think it's something that we needed to bring in. I think a lot of people sit there and they go, oh, we've spent so much money for nothing. I think we have spent it and we've made good signings. The problem is, are they the signings we need to be making? It's like we had a 6 out of 10 squad and a 4 out of 10 bench. And we now, after this transfer window, have a 6 out of 10 squad and a 6 out of 6 bench. And I think we probably needed a little bit more investment inside of the first team. But I don't think it's the end of the world. So my biggest concern is actually just what's going on inside the club. The real issue I was just looking at, you saw yesterday with Ainsley Maitland-Niles, whatever he did, I think maybe a little bit unprofessional, but I have no issue with him. It seems to be an issue where we have so many players having a personal issue with our manager and the way our club is run. I don't really know why. And I don't see other clubs with just the high level. Because whenever a manager comes in, you see a lot of players leave. We don't really see them leave. We just see lots and lots of tension. And I don't really know how to get to the bottom of it.
Well, I think what's interesting to look at here is Man United and Ollie have gotten very, very well. The players and Ollie have gotten very well. But and I'll take the example from my club because I am closer to it than I am Arsenal, of course. There was a scenario last summer where Man United didn't allow Romero. We didn't allow Sergio Romero to leave and go to another club. And it wasn't an Ollie thing. Ollie was willing to have him go. The club didn't get the deal done. And it infuriated a large number of the Manchester United squad members. They were very, very annoyed. They were very, very frustrated that their friend wasn't able to move on and is basically going to have a year sitting in the stands not doing anything. Football players have a very short career span in the grand scheme of things, and they wanted him to go away and play. Now, Ollie maintained the relationship. There were then some big internal changes around who's going to be dealing with transfers moving forward, and you kind of mitigate the circumstances. The problem at Arsenal is you have players like Willian coming in who have done nothing for Arsenal on exorbitant amounts of money, not performing. You then have, you've got all the pressure being put on these youngsters to be the key players that are there to deliver. You've got this deadwood sitting there not looking like it's going to move on. You've got players that disrespect the club, i.e., the Granit Xhakas of this world in a way. And then you get other people like the Ainsley Maitland-Niles who have acted as professionally as possible. They may not be good enough, but worked hard to be in the first team, who then are being mistreated by the club, but yet players that have failed in the first team for 4 or 5 years and disrespected the club are being rewarded with new deals and pay rises. Like in any workplace, if those things were going on, if you were working very hard and doing a good job, someone comes in on 3 times the amount of money as you and never delivers. Somebody else who's a pain at work and misbehaves at work and never really delivers at work was getting promotions and pay rises above you. It creates animosity. And that's what's happening at Arsenal Football Club right now. It's being run so poorly, there's animosity within that dressing room. The problem you've got with Mikel Arteta, say, compared to an Ollie, who tactically may not be where he needs to be, is 1.5 years, 2 years experience of being a manager versus 15 or so years of being a coach and a manager. You learn to handle it in a different way. And Arteta, for me, just looks so out of his depth. I'm not even blaming him for the Ainsley Maitland-Niles situation. I think he's being told to do this in the same way that he was forced to push out Ozil. Now, the problem that you've got is they're still partly on you. Now, I've got people within the world of snack media that I'm accountable to. Now, I've got complete creative control over the football terrace. I'm not going to go into what my job role is, but I've got a lot of weight and a lot of control and a lot of autonomy. But there's still people I need to answer to. If they tell me to do something and I say, yes, sir, no, sir, 3 bags full and do it, I'm still accountable. I can't hide. I have to be a man. I have to take ownership of the situation that I'm putting Ozil in the stands. I'm signing off and publicly saying I'm happy with the Willian deals. And I think that I get why he's doing that to be professional, but you're still part of the problem. You're still part, you may not be the main problem, but you're still part of that problem. And I think that's what needs to be looked at Arsenal Football Club. There's so many issues, but it all stems from your owners. They are poisonous, toxic. I nearly said a really bad C word. I'm not going to. They are nasty, terrible owners. And Edu and Mikel Arteta are problems and they're bad cogs in the wheel, but they're just going to be replaced with other bad cogs. You're never going to bring a Conte in. You're never going to bring a world-class manager in. And they're not going to want to operate in a system that's built to fail. Why would they? Why would you damage your reputation? It's funny, right? Because for years, I used to think that about Chelsea. Why do these top managers keep going to Chelsea? But they all get sacked and mistreated. They've just got really high standards at Chelsea. It's win or do one. At your club, it's almost the opposite to that. It's do as we say or do one. And what's going to happen with your owners is they're going to scapegoat Arteta. When he comes close to being sacked, you're going to see all these stories coming out about how he's fallen out with this player. He's lost the dressing room here. He made these mistakes. He didn't utilize the squad better. The club will start to push this narrative through your tier 1 journalists. And you'll all get there and be like, oh, yeah, manager. 3 managers on the bounce, all failing under the same regime. You've got to start looking at yourself. And I'll use the same example as I've used when I talk about Man United. If you're in a relationship as a person and 3, 4 girlfriends on the bounce, you break up for the same reason, it's you, bruv. It's you. It ain't them. It's you. And that's what Arsenal fans have got to wake up and smell the coffee on. That's what I would say, man. I know it's a long answer, but I think it stems in and around that. The owners set the standard. And I don't like the term used in life of top down, because I don't believe in that. It's middle out. The ownership, the hierarchy, the CEOs, the MDs of businesses, they are the heartbeat. They are the heart is the most important part. They are the heartbeat, and they set the tone for everything. And everything else play other parts in the organism. But the heart is the most important bit. It's the middle out effect. And that's how I operate when it comes to my life. It's middle out. I have to be, when I was running certain businesses, I had to be the most professional, the most on point. I had to have the highest standards. I've got a mad dress code when it comes to my corporate life. Men turned up unshaven, shirts a little bit. I mean, young lads, I used to send to Argos. Jess won't know what Argos is, but send to Argos. Go and buy an iron and iron book now. Sit out the back and iron that shirt. You ain't serving customers with your shirt crease. Standards. But those standards led to the results to help me further myself and better the business I was working for. For Arsenal Football Club, they are not sending their players out to iron their shirts, hypothetically speaking. If you get what I mean. And I just think for me, not hypothetically, what's the word I'm looking for? It's an analogy, but you get my point. The standards of Arsenal Football Club are so low, no manager is going to be successful. Now, a world-class manager will make you appear better on the surface, but it's just a gargantuan band-aid over the cracks.
Yeah, I think that's 100% true. If I looked at some of them as isolated incidents, I look at Ainsley Maitland-Niles and the Ozil one, you go, definitely could have had something to do with a board decision, and he's backing it. He's putting his, sign of approval on this. But then you look at it more, you go deeper, you look at Guendouzi, you look at Saliba. Guendouzi, obviously a very personal clash between the two, because I think we were missing that level of passion. I just don't think Arteta really likes the passion that much, but that's okay. One player, that's fine. But then you move on to Saliba. You look at him, you watch him in the French league. Yeah, okay, he might not be as great in the Premier League. But then you look at Mari and you look at some of the others that played on against Chelsea and Man City. I know they're Chelsea and Man City and Brentford as well. We go, surely he can't do any worse than that. Surely he can't be on the wrong side making errors that a 15-year-old would make on a pitch. If he does, he's as bad as them as well. You can't get worse at the moment.
No, I hear you on that completely, mate. Listen, great call. Thanks for coming on and having your say. Really appreciate it, buddy. Top man. And thanks for all your support, by the way. It means a great deal to me. Thank you.
Cheers.
Top man, thank you. David's here with us as well now. David, welcome back to the show, mate. What do you want to say? Obviously, big Chelsea updates today. I'd love your thoughts.
I don't know what to think though. I think we just got to wait and see what happens because I just feel like there's more to the story than Sevilla just randomly going, we'll add on 20 mil. That doesn't really make sense to me, but we'll see. It's an interesting day. Hopefully we can make a signing, but I've already said it. I said Man United are favourites, and I think Ollie is good enough. So Terry can't even level that one on me. So yeah. Sign Big Ronnie, become favourites. Very simple equation.
I mean, so you are admitting that we're the best team in England, then?
I said it on camera yesterday. Did I not?
Yeah, you did. At least you've got some. But you come out with the most audacious takes on the terrace. To be fair, do you get what I mean?
No, not really.
Not really.
I don't think it's outrageous to say you sign. Well, for some people, the greatest player who's ever played the game of football. I don't see it as outrageous to go and win the title, or win you have to win the FA Cup minimum. I don't care about the Carabao Cup. I do not care. You have to win the FA Cup. You got to be winning the league, and you got to be in the semi-final of the Champions League. I don't care who you go against, unless you get PSG in the round of 16. The only reason. Apart from that, finals.
I love you, David. You make me laugh, bro. You make me die, bro. You're so funny. You're so funny. Legitimately funny. Sorry, someone just sent me a funny video. It's making me laugh. Arsenal fans online though, I've seen here Gooner Express not happy about the Tomiyasu signing. What do you make of it, David? Good move for Arsenal?
I know of him. I know he's been highly touted, but I don't trust Arsenal. I feel like it's now got to the stage where it's Arsenal buy someone, I'm like, what's wrong with them, rather than what's right with them. So, I mean, he's better than Chambers. I'll guarantee he is better than Chambers, and he's probably better than Bellerin at right back. So he's an upgrade on the squad. He has to be. But I feel bad for Maitland-Niles. Just let the guy go, innit? Just let him. If you're not literally. If you're going to throw him in the under-23s, you might as well send him on loan, get a loan fee. At least you'll make money somehow. What's the point in just whacking him in the under-23s? Just let the guy live.
I sort of feel a bit like it's. I can imagine him playing his first game. We're all saying he's talented, and then it's I can imagine it. First game against Norwich, it's 1-1, 5 minutes to go, and he has a bad touch at right back or wherever he's playing, and lets in Timu Pukki to score. Arsenal's luck is so bad as well. That would just happen, and it would, his confidence. I know I shouldn't even put it out there into the atmosphere because Arsenal fans, I already have a number of Arsenal fans that won't come on the terrace because I'm too honest about their club. Very strange, weak mentality. But I could just imagine it happening. But it's almost at a point now, if those things were to happen, I wouldn't even be able to laugh because it would just be like, oh, come on, God, give Arsenal fans something. Give them something. Let them eat.
I mean, literally, it's a relegation 6-pointer straight after the freaking international break.
Jess, how are you going to feel if you don't beat Norwich? I mean, obviously, losing to the teams that you've lost to in the last 2 games is almost expected, but it would be you losing to Norwich is still for me the equivalent of Jake Paul knocking out Conor McGregor.
I mean, it's just, I don't know why everybody's so confident that we're going to beat them. I really don't get it. I don't know what they were watching. It's not about the quality anymore. It's literally they're not playing for the manager. And, there's no real precedent or no evidence or example of a manager losing their first 3 games and being 20th in the league and somehow getting up to Europe. It just is not going to happen. This magical run that we're going to go on, I think we play Norwich, Burnley, Tottenham, I think. We're not going to win all 3 of those games. We're not. Even if we're at home, they've set a very dangerous precedent that it's okay to lose to Brentford because we just didn't have some of our first team players. That's dangerous. The levels of what's expected have dropped so far that they think it's okay to lose 5-0 to Man City, lose your shape, get stupid red cards, and it's fine because Pogba should have got one too. the levels in which our expectations have dropped is actually shocking. Like, and I'm okay with knowing that we're not going to be top 4 because we don't have a top 4 squad and we definitely don't have a manager that can get us there. But the levels were dropping so much lower. So I was talking about this on a space yesterday that the idea that we're just going to win out the rest of our games is dead. Like, that's not going to happen. So I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't get the points against Norwich. We don't usually play that well against Burnley. Spurs is a toss-up. So, yeah, I mean, the only thing I can say is that hopefully they would make a decision on the manager. I'm very clear about where I stand. I think Arteta needs to go as well as Adu. Neither of them have hit the heights that they're supposed to. I'm wondering what have we gotten from this young generational manager? I haven't seen any evidence of that being true. He's gotten new players, hasn't he? Like, he needs new players. This is a whole new team, and we're still not playing any better, really. Is it really okay to, like, 0 goals? Like, 0.05 expected goals? Like, that's bad, So we'll see what happens, but I wouldn't be surprised if we drop points against Norwich. Like, that's how Arsenal operates, and it's not going to be that much different with Thomas and Gabriel there. I think, of course, the quality is better, but, like, they're not playing for the manager. That's beyond quality.
You're absolutely right. And it's also the pressure that I don't think Arsenal fans see the pressure they're building up against their own club around. We're going to be fine against Norwich. That puts a lot of pressure on these Arsenal players because you now have to win. We have some breaking news though before the end of the show. Matt Law has spoken, people. He said, I'd be extremely shocked if Chelsea agreed to pay the release clause of Jules Kounde at this stage. They want him, but not at any costs. Do you know what I find very interesting about that update? And it doesn't contradict anything that Matt Law has said in the past. But it was only a few weeks ago, tier ones and respected journalists were saying Chelsea want him at any cost. It's such what I love about this is people, maybe it's because I literally do transfer stories every day. I remember what a lot of people have said, but I swear it was Simon Johnson that sort of said that it's at any cost. They're desperate for him. They want to bring him in. And now the narrative is we won't do it. I mean, maybe that is Chelsea changing their stance because they don't want to pay that much. Who knows? Like, there's still just under 10 hours to go until it closes. So we will see. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, a massive thank you to each and every single one of you that's jumped on and been involved today. We're back later on with more content for you. We're going live from around 6 o'clock right through till midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. So make sure you stay with the football. Some staying power needed for that one. Stamina, baby. That's what's needed. But until next time, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very,